Welcome back to another video. It is 10:01 p.m. on a Saturday. Two videos again on the weekend, no less. So I was thinking about this concept of gratitude, right? And I think this is going to be very transformative for you if you stick with me. So gratitude, a lot of people think of gratitude as, being like being thankful, feeling appreciation, saying thank you, right? So saying things and feeling things. But keep one thing in mind, especially when we're talking about the gratitude that you want to demonstrate either to yourself or maybe to the universe or to God, and to really allow your gifts to be not only manifested, but also for to open yourself up to receiving more. Like not more as far as like more abundance and more material things. Like, yeah, that'll come through actions and through living a good life and proper life in accordance with a specific process that's going to get you some outcomes plus developing your character as we talk about. Now those two things can be mutually exclusive. Like you could be a bad person and make money, but most people they want to have their cake and eat it too, right? So do I. Right? Which is, you want to be financially successful, you want to have great relationships, and you want to have a strong character, right? That's the goal. So when you think about gratitude, don't just think about gratitude in terms of saying thank you or feeling thanks. Think about gratitude in terms of showing that appreciation, right? So how do you do that, right? Well, you're showing appreciation to your body by doing what? By eating healthy, by going to the gym. You're showing appreciation to your mind by doing what? By filling your mind with by positive habits, right? By writing things, by informative videos, informative content, informative books, by meditating, so training your awareness and your attention, by staying away from distractions, right? So you're training your mind, and as you train your mind, it's actually a demonstration of gratitude for your mind. As you train your body, it's a demonstration of gratitude for your body, right? As you eat healthy, it's a demonstration of gratitude for your body. So keep that in mind and make sure that you're recognizing yourself every time you do something good for yourself or somebody else. That was a demonstration of gratitude, right? Even when you hold the door open for somebody. So they may say thank you and you may say you're welcome. But really, it's almost like holding the door open when you do something for somebody is is the gratitude. Like I heard from somebody once where the door was held open for him or something, and he said thank you. And the lady looked at him and said, "Thank you for your thank you." You might think that's absurd. But just think about the type of mindset, think about the type of mood that you're in, the type of perspective that you have to say to somebody, "Thank you for your thank you." It's like you're recognizing their appreciation, like you're recognizing their recognition for you. It's like mutual recognition in a sense, right? Mutual recognition. And so when you're recognizing somebody, that is a form of gratitude. You're kind of like thanking them for their existence, because why the hell would you do anything good for anybody anyway? Right? If you didn't care at all for anybody ever, then you would never do anything good for anybody, including yourself. Right? So we're wired to care. We have to, right? Because if we didn't care, we wouldn't be able to raise children. If we didn't have that capacity for love and for attachment, we wouldn't be able to raise children. So we have that. So keep that in mind, is that don't just think that, oh, I'm not grateful, I'm not showing appreciation. Yeah, I mean, be a little bit more cognizant as far as, okay, well, maybe say it more often or develop, like they say, a gratitude practice or a gratitude journal. All those things are great, right? And I have my own gratitude practice as well. In the morning when I record memos, when I speak memos, I think the first prompt is, what am I grateful for and what am I celebrating? And I think about everything that I'm grateful for and what I'm celebrating. And sometimes, even though I say that I'm grateful, I don't actually feel that gratitude, right? So that's the key. And I used to beat myself up about it. I'm like, I'm saying thank you. I'm saying like, I'm glad that this person's around, or somebody gives you a glass of water and you're like, thanks, right? And you don't really feel it. But the most important part is to know that you're a dynamic life form, right? We're dynamic life forms. We're human beings. We're not going to be one way all the time. That's not the human experience. So just keep that in mind, is that you have different ways of expressing different things. That's why when you talk about, and when people talk about specific structures that you have, let's say, for example, you have a structure, and the structure, it's kind of like a cycle, right? So it's a solid structure, and there's a cycle. Now, here's the thing. is that if it's a negative cycle, right? So there's like a negative cycle that causes you to engage in some kind of vice or engage in some kind of activity that you would rather not engage in, whatever that happens to be, right? There's a cycle. If you intervene at one point in the cycle, you can kind of like disrupt the cycle temporarily, but because it's a self-organizing structure, it's going to basically rearrange itself so that it can happen again. So what you have to do, what the best thing to do is create multiple intervening points in that cycle. So basically you can break it down to its constituent parts, stop the cycle, and then you can use the parts, which in this case would be number one, your energy, and number two, your time, to rebuild something that's healthy. And so some good examples would be what? Would be, well, let's say, for example, you have a cycle where you're not exercising or regularly or eating healthy on a regular basis, or neglecting your responsibilities. Well, you might think, okay, so what is not just the one thing that I can do, but what are like 3 or 4 things that I can do that would help me interrupt this cycle? And then what you want to do is you want to implement those things at different parts in your day, either all simultaneously or different parts in your day. Because when you do that, you have more tools in your toolbox, right? It's like you're that character in the video game. You're playing the levels, right? You're slaying your enemies, and then you're collecting experience points, and you're opening tool chests, and you're collecting more tools. And as you play the game, you have more tools, but you have to explore different parts of the map to be able to get the experience points, right? So you can level up so that way when you get to the next level, you can actually win, right? You can actually beat it. So when it comes to gratitude, it's the same concept, which is basically what you're trying to do there is have multiple different ways to show gratitude. So not just the words, right? But not just the feelings and not just the act, all 3 of them, right? But most people, they forget the third part, which is basically just the acting. So people think appreciation is like feeling appreciation, meditating, like giving thanks, saying thank you to somebody, being like very warm and loving. Those are all very good things. But sometimes you're not going to be in that state, right? You're not going to be in that mood. And so it's important to know that gratitude is as much of an action as it is a feeling and a word, right? Gratitude is as much of an action as it is a feeling and a word, right? So you're demonstrating appreciation. Like let's say, for example, you're a great singer, right? You can thank, God. You could thank your parents, right? You could thank your music teacher for having a great voice. You can feel that gratitude, but really, what's the true demonstration of the gratitude, of the gifts and the talents that you have? The true demonstration is to sing, right? So you got to sing, right? That's the analogy here. Whatever your song is, you got to sing that song, right? So don't be afraid to do that. And also don't be afraid to be able to give yourself credit when you're doing things right. And even if you tell yourself, okay, I'm not feeling gratitude, I just did my responsibility. I think it was something that I was supposed to do anyway, and I just did it. Or, okay, thanks. Okay, I recognize you, whatever. It's okay if you feel like, don't judge yourself too much and don't be too critical, because what's going to happen is you're going to wreck your state, and that's going to make it less likely for you to be able to sustain positive behaviors, because you can't really be in a low state. Most people can't really be in a low state and sustain positive behaviors across time. It's not going to be possible, right? So you want to be able to reinforce the cycles, but also to have the understanding that the doing in and of itself, right, your actions, is the positive actions, is the gratitude. Positive action is the gratitude, right? That is the gratitude. So when you stroke your loved one's hair, you know, or when you give them a hug, that's actually gratitude. You think, oh, it's love, and it's gratitude, right? When you go to the gym, it's gratitude. When you read a book, it's gratitude, right? You're showing gratitude. So don't think that gratitude is just a word or just a feeling, right? It's also an action. So I hope this kicks off your Saturday, your Sunday, I guess, to a great start. And I think I'm going to upload this right now. Why the hell would I wait for it? I never hold on to these videos anyway. As I record them, I upload them. So again, I hope you get some really good use out of this and you enjoy it, and you share it maybe with a friend who needs to hear this. And if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to my newsletter as well. I write articles there and you can read them. And if you want to DM me, you can do so on X. I'm on X there. And that's it. In the meantime, have a beautiful rest of your night, and I'll catch you tomorrow.